Welcome to this other video, and today we're going to look at three examples of real situation that you may find during a coaching session. We're going to have a little bit of dialogue between a coachee and myself, and we're going to explore three cases to see how things evolve. And then after we finish all three examples, we're going to examine them a little bit to show you that there is a structure, there is a way and a time when to say things during a session. Let's start with the first example. It's a guy here which has some issue in the writing up of his thesis. He got stuck somewhere in the literature review, which typically is quite heavy for all of us. So it comes to the session, and then I ask him, how much progress in writing did you do during last week? And he says, very little. I only managed to write 5 pages. And then I said, wow, well done. That's already quite good. Yeah? And then I said, when do you usually write more effectively during the day? And he goes on and says, well, I typically wait for that people go away after work. So in early evening is when I'm more effective. Then I say, oh, I see. And any chance that you can get distracted during this quality time for yours? And he said, yes, I do get distracted a lot. And after this I say, well, and what do you think can be done drastically to improve your writing quota and bring it to, say, 3 pages of writing per day? He thinks a little bit and then he says, switching off social media for 3-4 hours during the evening. Okay. That's a good plan. And then I would say something like, have you also considered switching off your phone during those 3-4 hours? He says, not until now, but I will do it from today onwards. This is the first example. Let's move now on the second example. And here we have a girl which is having some issue with the supervisor. So she comes to the session and say, my supervisor made me repeating a lot of tests during the last week. And I say, oh, I feel you seem a bit frustrated, for having done that. Am I right? And she says, yes, you're absolutely correct. And then I probe more. Why, in your opinion, this has happened? And she thinks that my supervisor seems not to trust me much. And then I say, I understand. Does this happen with the other PhD students as well? She thinks a little bit and then she says, yes, it seems this is a general attitude of my supervisor. And then I say, it looks you are not the issue here. Is this the right time to explore this a little bit more? Then she thinks a little bit and she says, maybe next time. Today, I want to concentrate more on something. And this is the end of the second case. And now we're going to look at the third and last example. This is pretty short. So we have a guy which is coming for the second time during a session, and he hasn't done much progress. So I asked him, how is progress being done on our goals? And he says, I'm sorry, I did not do much. Then me, I say, okay, I see. Anything there stopping your progress? And he says, do not know. Then I take a little bit of time and I say, I got you. And how do you feel about it? He says, not that great, to be frank with you. And now I kind of trying to do more and say, what about exploring the reason why? Are you comfortable in doing this? And he finally says, yes, that would be great. If this is the end of the third part. Now, what we do in this last part that wraps everything up is that I want to tell you a bit about the structure of my probing questions and, the way I try to deal with coachees. And if you notice through these three examples, there are three different people which have three different kind of issues. One has an issue with the literature review, writing up the literature review. Then another one is an issue with supervisor, so it's a interpersonal issue. And the third seems to have an issue with himself, so he has something deep in that is stopping him doing progress. And in all three cases, I have never put you have done, you did, never you, okay? Especially when there are issues. If things are going quite smooth, then you can come pretty early on in the phrase. But when things are not going that well, if we put you, okay, at the beginning of the sentence, then the blame is on the person. Whereas I'm trying to put the blame on things or on others if they are causing some of the issues, like in the case of the supervisor. Then there is always a little bit of praise in there. Even if the guy wrote only 5 pages in a week, it's already quite good. He could do more. That's why I'm setting the bar a little bit higher, 3 pages per day. And then, drill down on what is causing him not to write that much. And he knows the answer already. He just needs some more validation and a little bit of push to do it. Some structure, okay? The lady there, second case, needs to know that she is not the issue. Most of the cases, we are not the primary issue. Either we have something to do with our long past, which causes us to behave in a certain way and to do things in a certain way, or with the people we are dealing with at the moment that stop us to achieve what we want to achieve. So there, we made sure that she understands that the supervisor is like this with everybody else, not just with her. So the problem couldn't be only her, okay? The problem mainly lay with the supervisor. And then, she said she doesn't want to talk about it today. Maybe because she wants to think about it more. Now that she knows it's definitely the supervisor. And on the third case, he kind of probably is not very well aware, but there are things that are happening or have been happening in his past which are causing issue to the guy. And we want to explore more to make sure that we can deal with those issues between us. If those issues are much more important and create a real stopper from, psychological point of view, then, I can help. I'm not, qualified to help people with their psychological issue coming from, the past. In many cases, these issues are minor and, we can mend it a little bit between us and, people can go forward. But in some cases, these are pretty important. And as I say, I'm not qualified, okay, to be a counselor. So maybe we have to look at alternative option to sort out the counseling bit first, and then come back to do this session with me for the PhD. Okay? I hope you find this interesting, and we will produce more of these short videos, and you should have it the next one within a month. Thank you for watching.